So maybe you have a brand new baby like us and you're wondering, hey, how do I swaddle this baby? I've heard that's important. So this week I'm going to share you my tips as a pediatrician and dad of three, how we wrap this guy up. And we're going to show you 4 different ways, starting from that receiving blanket that you have in the hospital, and then 3 other different kind of wraps and swaddles that we've used for our kiddos that have worked great that I'll share with you today. In case it's your first time meeting me, I'm Kurt. I'm a board certified pediatrician. We shoot almost weekly videos with my wife, Sarah, who's a board certified OBGYN. We are the Doctors Bjorkman. This week's episode, we have our willing volunteer. Maybe he's willing for the moment to demo some swaddles. This is Hank. This is our third child. He's going to be helping us out today. We'll see. First thing I'm going to start out by showing you is that classic receiving blanket that you're going to see at most U.S. hospitals. I don't know what it is about the company that makes these, but they're just everywhere. The key trick here, I'm going to show you the baseball method. For little babies, sometimes you can get away with another method about wrapping this lengthwise, but Mr. Hank here, being almost 9 pounds, is too big for that. So the baseball method is something great. So I think about using this as a diamond. So we've got our baseball diamond here. We fold it over one corner. This is going to be home plate. Okay. Then this is a little bit oblong. I usually have the short corner being first base, second base, third base, back to home again. We're going to put the shoulders right here at home plate here, his head. Okay, gently setting him down. And then one thing a lot of people will talk about, wants to do this with all of our wraps, about hand position. For most of our kiddos, I try to keep the hands down. If they naturally bring their hands up to the face, you are able to swaddle them with their hands closer to their face. Sometimes that works well. I will say they are more likely to squiggle out if you keep their hands up by their face. So we may be able to tuck this in. Okay, and I take first base, and I'm coming around, catching that first arm and tucking first base in, actually getting it around behind him, because then his weight, when he's laying on it, is going to hold that in place. Of course, a little fussing is pretty common while you're doing this. We're just going to use the passy while we're doing this today. And babies are active. That's just part of the game here. Then we're taking second base up. You're going to bring this up and bring this up over the shoulder here. Tucking this in around behind is really helpful for me, I feel. And then taking third base in, coming across again, using the tension of his body, getting this nice and snug here. Kind of thinking about this almost as a top rail, bringing that in around, kind of straighten this out and come behind. Now, for all the labor and delivery nurses and NICU nurses out there, definitely may be able to get this a little bit tighter. The goal is just to be snug. Now, you'll say, like, hey, can I make this too tight? It's really hard to make this too tight because these babies are just so good at wiggling their arms out. And so I really try to make this top rail almost here snug around here. And you can see how much babies just love being swaddled, that tight squeeze that mimics being in the uterus almost. Just, this is great. Hands tucked in tight. Look, if this was a sleeping place, this is definitely a changing table, but flat place for them to lay, nothing else in the crib, etc. Okay, for swaddle number 2, we're going to use a swaddle blanket. This one's from Lulu & Co. There's lots of swaddle blankets on the market. This one's nice. It's a little breathable, a little stretchy. We really like this. For this baby, we've used all sorts of different just swaddle blankets that you can get from Walmart, Target, wherever. This one here, though, it's got pretty good length, and so I'm going to use this. I folded it kind of lengthwise in half here. Again, the goal here, we're going to set baby right here in the middle, kind of with his shoulders right at the top of this edge of the blanket. We want to make sure as we swaddle them, again, we're mimicking the womb with a nice tight hug from the blanket, but we want to make sure that it's not in a position that it's going to crawl up over him, over his face, keeping his face clear. Okay, hey buddy. Okay, so here, coming in now, I'm going to take this first side. I'm catching just one arm. I think it's really nice to just do one arm. You can swaddle both arms together. They're more likely to wiggle out if you keep the arms together. Again, if your baby feels more comfortable one way or the other, that's okay. This is nice stretchy fabric, so I'm actually going to roll him onto his side here to be able to get this fabric tucked in behind him, again, using his own weight to hold that. And if I can keep it from having any big wrinkles behind him, that's great. Now I've got just one arm free. You can fold this excess up if you want, or just leave it loose. Either is fine. I kind of do both. And then just bringing this other side, we've got a nice, again, long swaddle blanket, using that stretch to kind of come across, catch the body, and then rolling him back and bringing this excess around behind. So then when he's laying on his back in a safe sleep spot, he's happy, he's comfy, and swaddled up. Again, these aren't going to come up over his face. He's comfy. If he wants a passy to do some calming sucking motions too, again, the swaddle and the suck are great ways to help calm your baby ready for sleep. Hank's playing along today, doing a great job. Okay, so while Hank is happily swaddled in our last wrap, I just want to talk, the next two swaddles I'm going to show you are both kind of designed swaddle blankets, sleep sacks for babies that have some sort of Velcro in them. I think we do need to mention in this episode, when you're swaddling your baby, this is for the newborn stage only, really the first 8 weeks, maybe up to 12 weeks. As soon as they show signs that they're going to be rolling, you definitely don't want them to roll over onto their face while they're trapped and swaddled like this. This is before they're able to roll. Now for our third swaddle in today's video. This is probably the easiest one we're going to do, one that helped me as a new dad with our first baby for certain, using this Ollie swaddle. Again, it's just a plain flat sheet of fabric with some Velcro on it. You know, it doesn't seem that fancy, but this was life-changing for us with our first kiddo. Again, setting the shoulders here right where the top of the fabric is, so that this isn't going to ride up over the face. Okay, and then this one's designed, it's got one side that's got to come in first, has the Velcro on the outside. So again, here, this one I'm just catching the arm. This one, a lot of times I put both hands in this together, keeping them together. Hank's squirming a little bit, pretty common to have a squirmy baby. Sometimes your baby's upset and you're using this to help calm them down, recreating that fourth trimester, feeling like they're still getting that nice hug from being in the uterus. And then it's just Velcro. It can't be simpler than that, which is great. Rather than having to do all those layers, he's just wrapped up. He's happy. It's got this little bungee on the bottom here that you can put around to keep the bottom tied up here if you want to keep things from unraveling. But look at that. My baby who was wiggly is now just loving the swaddle. With these Velcro varieties, I should mention, if you're ever wondering if it's too tight, as long as you can slip your hand in here, this is actually, I've got lots of room here. He might, if he was more active, try to wiggle out. You can always come back. It's a nice thing about the Velcro. Of course, he jumps to the sound, but then retighten it too is something really nice about this variety that's helped me learning swaddles as a new dad. So the final swaddle variety we're going to show you today, this is from Kite Baby. This is a sleep sack swaddle combination that gives you kind of that extra warmth of being in a sleep sack while giving you the stability and being able to give them a nice tight snug with the swaddle material itself. Again, the swaddle Velcro actually comes off completely. It's got Velcro that attaches to the back of the sleep sack, and then inside it's just a sleep sack. So I'm going to get him in this and I'll show you how that swaddle works. Okay, so we've got Mr. Hank here in his Kite Baby sleep sack. The only thing different about this sleep sack, it's great fabric, from another, is it's got some Velcro on the back that is designed to match up with the Velcro on this swaddle piece that's designed to go with this. So he's in his sleep sack that's going to keep him nice and warm. You can keep the Velcro on. I've just detached it here for the purpose of this video. Okay, but then he's in his sleep sack. He's got some extra warmth, so you don't need any extra blankets. This isn't going to come up on his face. This is good for safe sleep. We'll say weighted blankets are not safe sleep. This is not a weighted blanket. But then I'm just using this material here that wraps. You can see it's got a nice big pad of Velcro. He's going to hold on for us here. And then just wrapping this around as he loves that. And you can just see how much our little guy, who's a little under 2 weeks, just loves being swaddled. The calming and a non-nutritive suck of a pacifier is very fine. But just creating that environment where they're able to just be comfortable, flat, safe. This isn't going to ride up over their face. They're tucked in tight. Arms are controlled. They're going to be warm. All of the above. And he is doing the thing that babies love, sleeping. So hopefully this episode was really helpful if you're a new parent or really wanting a refresher on how to swaddle a baby. Again, lots of methods, whether you've got a plain, simple swaddle blanket or something a little bit more advanced. There's lots of methods, ways to kind of recreate this calming feeling of that nice warm hug for your baby that's going to help them calm when they're fussy, help them sleep, kind of controlling that startle reflex a little bit for the first few weeks of life. Anyway, if you're a new parent, new care provider, good luck. Stay tuned. Hope your subscribers are coming out with more newborn child care content coming your way. We're doctors.
But not your doctors.
Anything we've said in this video is for education or entertainment purposes only.
It is not medical advice.
Any specific medical questions you have should be directed to your provider.